Why, hello there everyone. I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. Minasan, konbanwa, Yonjongni Shodo, and good evening everyone. And today I'm going to be showing some mature males and some attempt feedings with some juveniles. And I also want to discuss about starting my tarantula business. Well, my business that is. So, let's begin. So to those individuals who have kept up with my community posts here on the channel, I've stated that I officially have a business now. Yes, I started a business and it's officially registered. However, I'm still in the process of getting my business licenses and the proper permits that are required to actually sell animals. And this is basically the hardest part as of now because I have no idea what I'm doing, and basically I don't really know which permits and which business licenses are required. Now I did talk to my agent and my agent basically helped me out, and I actually did file for a reptiles and amphibians permit which will allow me to sell them, and I limited my quantity to 20 as of now. And I was told that if I was to acquire more animals, I can update it once it comes year round. Basically when it comes close for when this permit is about to expire and it's time for it to be renewed. But I was also very much confused because this doesn't really apply to tarantulas. As a matter of fact, when it comes to the required permits to sell tarantulas, there is actually nothing revolving around invertebrates. So now I'm in the process of waiting and hoping that I get a response back about how tarantulas work when it comes to selling tarantulas in my area. But fingers crossed, and let us hope for the best. Now I did actually look at the list of what species of animals are illegal to own and illegal to sell, and luckily tarantulas are not on that list. So I don't know where tarantulas fall in line with, because they're kind of, I don't know, they're kind of like in a gray area. So either they're very lenient or nobody's just paying attention to them. But I still don't want to take that risk, so I'm just going to wait for a response. Now I don't know exactly when I'll start selling as a business and where, but I have to say it's going to take a while because I'm still waiting for my sales and tax papers to come in through the mail, and I'm also waiting for my business license to be approved and for it to come in as of the recording of this video. We're still waiting for things to work out. And I still do need to open a business bank account, so that way I don't really put my own personal bank accounts at risk if things go south with this business venture. And by now, you can kind of tell that I'm very nervous and also very worried about things not working out, or if I did something wrong when it comes to applications for my business. But once everything of that gets approved, I think the rest should be a bit more easier because I have been around this market for a while now, and I do understand the tarantula market quite well actually, but it's just that getting the business started is where everything's a bit wonky and confusing, and I gotta do everything right and just take my time to get there. Now a lot of you may be wondering, what will I sell? What is my selection? And here's the thing, I have a very small list. I don't really want to sell like a million different tarantula species. I know that variety may be a good thing, but as of now, I don't want to take this full time. As a matter of fact, I'd say 99% of all of the tarantula breeders in the United States sell tarantulas as a part-time or as a side business or as a secondary source of income. It is actually extremely rare to make full-time income selling just tarantulas. And if you're a business that has a full-time income and a full-time job just working with tarantulas, please come forward because I would be interested in your diagnostics and basically how you run as a business, because that is actually a very rare thing to actually happen when it comes to selling tarantulas. And basically everyone knows this that sells tarantulas. Even some of the greatest tarantula breeders in the United States, they only sell tarantulas as a secondary job or a side income. Other than that, we're pretty much normal people that work actual 9-to-5 jobs, just getting by, and like, we're literally ordinary people. So for me, I really want to start small, maybe around 5 to 10 different species, but we just kind of had to work our way up and see where this goes, because I don't want to jump in too big into this, because like I stated, I may just flop, you never know. But currently, the first goal is to last a minimum of 5 years, because the majority of new tarantula breeders and sellers and businesses, usually they start going down south before or a little after 5 years. So if I can last 5 years as a business, I would be more confident in what I do. But hey, we're just going to have to find out, right? And I would appreciate it if I do get support from my community here. And honestly, it's anyone's call. We could be successful, we could be a failure, we could be somewhere in between. We're not going to be perfect because the beginning is usually the learning curve here, but hey, let us wait and see, right? So let us come back in and discuss about the permits and the licenses and things of that nature. So essentially this permit that I'm getting is basically going to allow me to work and basically sell reptiles and amphibians, and I did limit my quantity to 20 as of now, but I really want to use that to focus on pretty much raising up Pac-Man frogs, and I really want to focus on raising and basically producing designer Pac-Man frogs, or essentially high quality Pac-Man frogs. I did see some pictures of some facilities, but it's kind of, it's very interesting. It's not the same for each one. But there is one thing in common though. These facilities are very clean. Basically, they keep their Pac-Man frogs more of a, how should I say it, just as a water-based substrate or just water. They don't really keep it on substrate like coconut fiber or topsoil or anything like that. And from what I was told, it's really because of sanitation and sterilization, just to make it easier and cleaner, because Pac-Man frogs do produce a lot of waste in comparison to other exotic pets. So it does make sense. But I'm not one to judge, so really to each their own. But I do want to sell Pac-Man frogs in the future, but as of now I cannot, because finding a supplier or a good supplier with reasonable prices through wholesale is impossible. So I forgot to mention this, but I'm currently looking around for inventory, so I've been looking at wholesalers and basically inventory prices, and when it comes to Pac-Man frogs, they are very expensive in my opinion, and I don't think they're worth buying through retail via wholesale, because if I do, I'm going to have to sell it for pretty much an expensive price, and it just doesn't make sense, and it's just not fair for me honestly. So I'm just not going to buy them for selling, because then it just wouldn't be fair. Now I may actually buy some just for myself to raise up to see what quality comes out of them, because I am focusing on quality. I know exactly what I want in a Pac-Man frog, and I actually have a vision of what colors, what patterns, and basically what features I want in a Pac-Man frog. Well, not features obviously, because Pac-Man frogs are Pac-Man frogs, so there is no features, but you understand what I'm saying though, in terms of talking about colors and patterns when it comes to Pac-Man frogs. And I do really want to raise a quality winning or show winning quality Pac-Man frog, but essentially though, tying everything back together, that is pretty much the reason why I've gotten this reptile and amphibian permit and license, is really because I'm very passionate about Pac-Man frogs, and when it comes to Pac-Man frogs, usually it's the Asian countries that do it very well, and the reason why is because frogs is actually a source of food in a lot of Asian countries, so there's dedicated frog farms just for food, but not for Pac-Man frogs obviously. But essentially what I'm saying is that Asian countries are basically well known for breeding frogs, which is why a lot of the good looking, show stunning, winning Pac-Man frogs in terms of colors and designs usually come from the Asian countries, because it's through selective breeding. But hopefully in the West we can catch up, but I'm still waiting for my permits to be approved, and I'm also still waiting for a response in regards to selling spiders, but once I do, I'll get things going if I can. But as always, I guess I'll call this a video for today, and man, there's a lot I really want to talk about, but it's a process and I'll discuss it as things come along. But as always, thanks for watching, and with that, stay lax and Laxow out from the Kumo Sensei.